The wind howled through the desolate streets of Elmwood, a small town that lay forgotten on the outskirts of civilization. Nestled among the decrepit buildings and overgrown foliage stood an old Victorian house, its once vibrant exterior now faded and worn. Locals whispered of its haunted past, claiming that the spirits of the mad still roamed its halls. Joshua Carter, a young journalist seeking inspiration for his next big story, decided to delve into the legends surrounding the house. Intrigued by the tales of terror, he set out to uncover the truth about the mad man who had once called it home. Armed with a notebook and a digital recorder, Joshua cautiously stepped onto the creaking porch of the old house. The air felt heavy, suffused with an eerie silence that sent a chill down his spine. He pushed open the front door, revealing a grand foyer adorned with dusty portraits of long-forgotten family members. As Joshua made his way through the house, he encountered locked rooms and boarded-up windows, as if someone had desperately tried to keep something inside from escaping. The further he explored, the stronger the feeling of unease grew within him. In a neglected study, Joshua stumbled upon a secret compartment hidden behind a bookshelf. Inside, he found a leather-bound diary, its pages yellowed with age. Intrigued, he began to read the madman's words, penned with a shaky hand. The diary chronicled the descent of a once brilliant mind into madness. The author, Benjamin Hawthorne, had been a renowned surgeon in his prime, respected and admired by his peers. But tragedy had struck when his wife and children had perished in a horrific fire, leaving him broken and consumed by grief. As Joshua read on, he discovered that Benjamin had turned to occult practices in a desperate attempt to bring his family back from the dead. He had become obsessed with a forbidden ritual that promised to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. Driven by madness, Benjamin had conducted the ritual in the very depths of the house. It required the sacrifice of innocent souls, drawing their life force to fuel the dark magic. The diary detailed his descent into depravity, his actions becoming more monstrous with each passing day. Suddenly, a cold draft filled the room, extinguishing the flickering candlelight. Joshua's heart raced as he heard the sound of footsteps echoing through the empty house. Panic took hold of him as the once barred windows flung open, sending a cascade of shattered glass across the room. Whispers filled the air, voices both menacing and desperate. Shadows danced along the walls, and Joshua could feel unseen eyes watching him. The spirits of the sacrificed victims had awakened, their restless souls seeking vengeance for the atrocities committed in their names. Night after night, Joshua was tormented by ghostly apparitions. The spirits of the victims, their faces twisted in anguish, would appear before him, their voices echoing through the darkness. Their whispers grew louder, their pleas for release turning into haunting screams that echoed in his mind. Sleep became a distant memory as Joshua's sanity began to crumble under the weight of the relentless haunting. Shadows seemed to move of their own accord, and the air grew thick with malevolence. The house became a prison, and Joshua a helpless captive to the madman's curse. Unable to escape the relentless torment, Joshua started to question his own sanity. The line between reality and hallucination blurred, and he found himself unable to trust his own senses. The diary's words consumed him, as if the madman's madness had taken root within his very soul. Haunted by the apparitions, Joshua's mind became a labyrinth of horrors. He heard the voices of the spirits whispering in his ear, urging him to join them in their eternal torment. The house seemed to pulsate with a sinister energy, feeding off his fears and driving him closer to the edge. Determined to break free from the clutches of the madman's curse, Joshua embarked on a desperate mission to uncover the key to his salvation. Through his research, he discovered an ancient artifact that held the power to banish the spirits once and for all. Armed with the artifact, Joshua made his way to the very heart of the house, where the ritual had taken place. The air grew heavy, and the whispers of the spirits turned into a cacophony of rage and desperation. Shadows converged, taking shape and forming a twisted figure, the embodiment of Benjamin's madness. In a final, climactic battle between light and darkness, Joshua confronted the manifestation of the madman's spirit. The artifact pulsated with energy as he unleashed its power, hoping to break the curse that had plagued him for so long. The spirits wailed, their ethereal forms dissipating into nothingness. The house trembled, as if in agony, and Joshua collapsed to the ground, drained by the ordeal. The haunting had ended, but the toll it had taken on him was immeasurable. Years passed, and Joshua tried to rebuild his life, forever scarred by the horrors he had witnessed. The house stood abandoned, a mere shell of its former self. Locals still avoided it, unable to shake off the lingering fear that had permeated the town. Though the madman's curse had been vanquished, the memory of his malevolence lingered in the shadows. Elmwood remained a town haunted by the past, forever shaped by the dark legacy of the house that had once housed the madness of a tortured soul.